What's going on, everyone? How you been? Today for you guys, and it's been a while, of course, but I've got some more stuff to show you. First up, I'm going to start with a couple more cards that I've gotten for my 1973 Calby Batback run. Both of these cards are from the very scarce high number block 2 cards number 73 through 91, I believe. So I've got here to start off, this is card number 87, and this is Yutaka Fukumoto. And if you want to make this kind of comparison, you might say that Fukumoto is like the Japanese Rickey Henderson. He is the Japan's all-time leader in stolen bases. He has over 1,000. He doesn't have quite as many as Rickey, but he does have over 1,000, which I believe would put him second place internationally behind Henderson. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Lou Brock has 900 something. So Fukumoto would be in second place internationally. Like I said, this is card number 87. As you can see, it has this clean corner chunk missing, which is really unfortunate. And to be honest, I wasn't going to purchase this card originally. I saw the corner missing and it really turned me off. And then I came around to it because the reality is that these Batback high numbers are so stinking rare that I just couldn't really afford to pass up the opportunity to check off another box, on my checklist for this run. If I happen to see another one, which isn't likely in the near future, then I can upgrade it maybe. But for now, I've got this one. Honestly, it's not too bad. I don't know why the missing piece is so clean. Like, what's the story behind it being the chunk taken off being that clean? But it doesn't, it's not in the way of the player's image, or it doesn't, inhibit reading the text on the back or anything. So it is what it is, and it's still a pretty nice looking card, all things considered. Cool thing is, if you ever go to the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame here in Tokyo, you can see a base that Rickey Henderson gifted to Fukumoto. So it says to Fukumoto from Rickey Henderson, and it's kind of like the Japanese and the American stolen base leaders. So Rickey Henderson gifted Fukumoto this base. You can see it at the Japanese Hall of Fame. So there's that one. And then the other one I got another high number. I was very fortunate enough to get another high number 73 Calby Batback of Teruhide Sakurai. I believe he has another card. I've shown another one of his cards that I already have from the set. Sakurai was a second baseman for the Hawks, the then Nankai Hawks. They are, of course, now the SoftBank Hawks. They are owned by SoftBank, the telecom company, and they are something of a juggernaut now. They were down for a few years there, but they're kind of back. If you didn't know, Sadaharu Oh is an executive for this team currently, and they are playing in basically the stage 2 of the Climax series in Japanese baseball, which is more or less like the ALCS, NLCS semifinals before the Japan series, right? So the Hawks absolutely cruise through the season this year. They are peerless this season, but I guess I'm getting a little bit away from this. So anyway, Teruhide Sakurai, he was a pretty serviceable second baseman for the Hawks back in the day. Not a superstar or anything like that, but this is card number 77. And I gotta say, basically, I was on kind of a winning streak with these 73 Calbys, especially the higher numbered ones, I actually divide them my own system. I divide them between like uncommon and rare. And between the uncommons and the rares, I was actually on kind of a winning streak. I was actually getting a surprising amount of them. But that well has completely dried up, man. I like it's tumbleweeds out there now. I think I need 9 more to complete the set, and I think it's a couple more of the uncommons, and so then about 7 of the rares. So I don't think I'm gonna complete this set anytime soon, but that's okay. That's part of the fun, right? If this is even a well, I don't know if it's going to be a lifelong thing with 7 cards left, but it might be a pursuit for the near future. But the cool thing, well, I mean, besides this card, when I bought this Sakurai card, the seller was incredibly generous. The seller got me, he threw in a couple extras for fun, and I couldn't believe it. So, first up, I got this Calby, and I believe this is a 75, maybe 76, maybe a 76. At any rate, look at this card. So he threw this in for free. I don't know if you can tell who's on this card, but of course this is Sadaharu O, and this is Shigeo Nagashima as the manager. Because he's wearing number 90, of course, which he started wearing as the manager. So I got a free card, Calby, 70s Calby, with the Giants Big 2 on it from this seller. Like, absolutely free, and I didn't realize I was going to get it. Insane, right? But wait, there's more. He also threw it, and I want to be clear, like, I honestly didn't pay that much for this card. I want to say I paid about 1,800 yen for this card, which if you want to be easy about it is like 18 bucks, but actually less in dollar terms because of the exchange rate, but he still hooked me up with this cool stuff. He also hooked me up with a unopened pack of 87 Calby. And I was going to open this on camera, but I just couldn't fight temptation. I had to open it, so I did. So this was an unopened pack of 87 Calby that he hooked me up with. And actually, the card I got is a really nice one. And it's a player that I'm happy to talk about. I'm glad I got this. It gives me a chance to talk about this player. So what I got in the 87 pack was this very nice card here. And this is Hiromitsu Kadota. And Hiromitsu Kadota was a big slugger for the Nankai Hawks. I was talking about them previously, so it's a little coincidentally I got a Hawk. I bought a Hawk card, and I got a Hawk in the pack of 87. Hiromitsu Kadota is actually 3rd all-time in Japanese baseball in home runs. He is behind, of course, Sadaharu O at number 1. And his teammate Katsuya Nomura at number 2. And I've talked about Katsuya Nomura before. I call him, the greatest player you've never heard of. Over 600 home runs as a catcher. And he's 2nd all-time in home runs, 2nd all-time in hits. But Kadota is 3rd all-time in home runs. So would you believe, so over 500. And would you believe, that the Nankai Hawks, the humble, unheralded Nankai Hawks, and like I said, the Hawks, the SoftBank Hawks, the current iteration, are something of an evil empire in the last decade or so. But back then, it was a humble team. They have for about 10 years, they had the number 2 and number 3 all-time in Japanese baseball home run hitters on the same team. So basically the Hawks had a 1-2 home run punch that was every bit as potent as the Giants, famous ON 1-2 home run punch. But obviously far less heralded. They didn't win 9 consecutive Japan Series championships. and things like that. Pretty much in those days, any team that wasn't the Giants and maybe the Tigers was pretty much just, might as well have been the, Washington Generals playing the Globetrotters, right? Like nobody really cared. But Carlota, big slugger, third all time in home runs. You need to know about this guy. This card is actually pretty cool too. The back is like, when I was reading the back, it's a little bit unconventional. It actually lists the members of his family. It lists his wife. And I sometimes with names it's a little hard to. Sometimes I can't read kanji on names, but I believe his wife Junko, and his kids. He has a son and a daughter, two 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. So that's pretty interesting. It lists his family members on the back of his cards. And it also lists his monthly salary, which is another sort of unconventional thing about this. And so his monthly pay back in those days, so it says he made about $2,000 a month. So that's modest back in '87 in MPB, making that kind of money. It says that oil painting is something that he's good at, which is another. So like I said, the back of this card is pretty fun. I'd actually like to pick up some other '87 Calbies. I don't know how many I have, but not that many. But I'd like to pick these up. To just the backs are very interesting. So yeah, Kadota and like I said, Katsuya Nomura, despite the fact that Nomura started his baseball career with the Hawks far earlier than Kadota. I believe Kadota was 1970 was his rookie year, and Nomura was all the way back in 1954. But they still played together for 10 years. Which blows my mind. That's mainly a testament to Nomura's longevity, right? Nomura played from 1954 to 1980, so 4 different decades. So yeah, but anyway, the unheralded slugging duo of Nomura and Kadota, number 2 and number 3 all time in home runs in Japanese baseball. So awesome to get that card. I'd like to take it out of the card saver, but this is like a pack fresh 10 out of 10 card. I don't know. Maybe I'll get this graded someday. Who knows? But I'm not gonna take it out. So, and then I've just got a couple more pickups and random stuff for you guys. I'll show you. I always pick up these sports graphic number magazines whenever they have like Otani on the cover or something like that. So this one is commemorating Otani's 50-50 season. So nice cover there with the bat flip. And then on the back you have Otani for Hugo Boss. So yeah, these are great. I always like picking these up. I got a couple more cards here. This is just sort of miscellaneous stuff. I got a couple modern Calbies for you. So first up, and these are both from the most recent release, I believe. So first up, I've got this. I was happy to pull this one myself. I got this one of Norichika Aoki. He's one of my favorite players ever. Former Brewer. Played for a long ass time. I believe he's 42, and he finally announced his retirement. So the Swallows are not in the postseason. So Aoki is finally and officially retired. I would say that chances are pretty good that Aoki will make his way to the Japanese Hall of Fame eventually. I don't know about like first ballot, probably not. I don't know, but between his numbers between Japanese baseball and the major leagues, I think will get him there eventually. So this is a checklist, Swallows checklist back, but nice sort of farewell card for Nori Aoki, one of my favorite players ever. Watched him live as a Brewer, and I also got to see him hit a home run at Jingu Stadium. Stadium, of course, the Swallows Stadium where Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and stuff played back in the day, so pretty awesome. And then I also got this one, which is pretty cool and relevant, and this is Shinosuke Abe, the new manager of the Yomiuri Giants, and he's commemorating his first win as a manager in this card. Of course, Abe was a very decorated catcher for the Giants, probably after Masaki Mori, the 60s, 70s all-time great, Sadaharu O era catcher for the Giants. Maybe Abe, although Abe offensively was much better than Mori. He has over 400 home runs as a catcher. Maybe the best slugging catcher behind Katsuya Nomura. He will definitely go to the Hall of Fame eventually, but in typical Giants fashion, as a legendary player, he was selected as the new manager for the team. And the Giants actually did win the Central League pennant their first year under his leadership. So that's pretty, even though as a Tigers fan, it's still pretty cool. This card, it's his first win as a manager, and they went on to win the pennant that year. This is also a checklist. So yeah. So that's what I've got for you guys today, as always. Thanks for watching. Peace.